Hello, hello, hello out there. Hello, hello, hello. And how is everybody doing this Wednesday, March 12th? Wednesday, March 12th. How is everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Hello, my Coach Dawn Allen. Welcome, welcome to the podcast this evening. I am so happy and so excited that you joined me this evening. I have a special guest and we're going to rock the house tonight. Let you know, just make sure you have your pencils and your papers ready because I'm just telling you, get it ready. I give you like a minute to get it ready because we're gonna rock it. Okay, we're gonna have some fun. Mitch Race, Mr. Self-Image himself, ladies. Yes, yes, yes. It's in the house today. So I want to welcome everybody, those who've been with me for 94 episodes. I want to rock it, who've been rocking with me for 94 episodes. Thank you. Sorry, I'm so excited. I can't even talk. My lips are all tongue-tied. I'm so excited today. But calm down. Okay. So, and those who are new, I want to welcome you. My name is Coach Dawn Allen, and I help overweight middle-aged women who feel unguiding and stress, motivation by making small changes, in nutrition, self-help, and physical activity. That so that we can become fit, fine, fabulous, and so sexy, loving ourselves from the inside out. That's what I do. I am an integrated nutrition health coach, and I'm here to help you. I lost 50 pounds, and I would love, love, love to show you how. I believe that everybody needs to be in great life. You know, my dad, when he passed, well, he was telling me before he passed that he had to go to the doctors every 2 weeks because he may need a blood transfusion. So his quality of life was going to the doctor every 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but when I heard that just like, wow, I know I don't want that. So I know I have to get myself to be sure I'm together, that I want to retire next year, please. And I want to I want to go to Europe. I want to go Africa. I want to go all over. Do things I want to do. And I don't want to be going to the doctors every 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but I don't want to. So I lost the weight and I feel so much better. I'm alive. I do karate. I go to the gym all the time. Take some of my grandkids. I just have a good time. I'm living the best life. But I'm still working. So when I retire, it's going to be on and popping. So that's what I do. And that's what I'm here for. And if you need any help, I am here. I'm your girl, Coach Dawn Allen. Yes. So this evening, we have a special guest, Mr. Mitch Ray. I'm going to read you his bio because I want to get it right. I don't want to miss out nothing. I'm going to read it. Okay, it says, Mr. Mitch Race. He is an image strategist. He is the host of the Mitch Race podcast on Saturday mornings, 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Focusing on self-image and self-esteem issues. Yes, we need that because, you have to focus mental to do anything. You have to have be in the right mindset for you to do anything. So let's say he is a CEO of his company, Reframe University. He's a recipient of the Be Iconic Awards, Founder Award, Attraction Award, and Overcome Award. That sounds very prestigious. Okay, Mr. Ray. So, hey, I see you here. He has a background as a record producer and a music maker. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen his podcast, he created his own theme song. That's how bad the brother is, okay? He didn't tell you that. He told I'm on too, please. Thank you. Also, he's a seasoned educational media service administrator at New York University. Yes. Okay. He is a personal philosopher on image. And your self-image has a story to tell. That is Mitch Race's bio. And I'm sure he has more to add to it. And you know, I didn't know that, but he said he did gymnastics when he was young. not know that. I was like, oh, flexible, okay. So without further ado, I want to bring in my esteemed guest, Mr. Mitch Race. Are you there, my brother?
Yes, I am here. What's going on, Coach PA? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Welcome to the Coach Dawn Allen podcast. I'm happy to see you here, my brother. So tell us about you. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna ask you. Sorry, who is Mr. Mitch? Floor is yours.
Thank you. Um, wow. This is really an interesting question, and I will tell you why it's so much of an interesting question now. It's because I do think a lot about self-image, and I am reminded that there are things that we think that we are. Sometimes we outgrow concepts of who we are, and we change, we evolve, and so we can be many different things at any one time. So, I would say that now, if you asked me who I am, um, I would tell you that I'm loved because that's important to me, being loved. I can tell you that I'm grateful. I can tell you that I'm a child of God. I can tell
Mhm.
you that I'm a chosen one. I can tell you also that I'm a family man. I love my family. I
Mhm.
love my friends who are also my family. Um, I'm a serviceman. I'm a service driven professional. Um, and I'm also very, very service driven in my community and in my community here, in my own community, the iconic community I belong to. I'm a creator. Like you said, I created my own music. I'm creative. More importantly, I have a lot of creative things that I do besides just music. I'm creative in everything that I do in terms of like my business and even my life. I'm designing my life. I'm creative in that. I'm a businessman. Right now, I'm working on Reframe University. I'm the CEO of Reframe University, which is my concept of community for self-image, self-esteem, and confidence and value, value issues. Not knowing your value, things like that. So, um, there's a lot of different things. I'm strong. I know that because I'm entering a new level of exercise and eating well. So so I'm
Thank you.
strong. I'm much more stronger. And I'm a podcaster. The Mitch Race podcast is my thing. So yeah, I've defined myself by the things that make me happy, and then those are my
Mhm.
successes.
Okay. So how did you get from where you are now? What's your background story? How did you get from like why did you start your self-image
Um,
podcast? What drove you there?
that is something that I found through purpose, because I do know that up to that point, I was aware that I like to dress. I like to look
Mhm.
good. I like the idea of feeling good, and of course, but there was more to it, and that didn't come along really until purpose came along and sort of like put
Mhm.
these things together. I was in a Vegas hotel room at one point in time. I guess it was probably like obviously a few years ago. This had to have been right after my mom had passed. My mom passed March 10th, 2020. Um, and so all of that time that went by, there was a lot going on. I was doing a lot and experiencing my own personal freedom, maybe too much, and kind of like not really paying attention to my own body, not
Mhm.
paying attention to what was going on really in my head. Just as they say, doing too much. And I was doing a lot, and
Okay.
and so and I was traveling and working on my idea for my for the business I was in at the time,
Mhm.
doing some network marketing stuff. And as that period of time went by from the time my mom had passed, and actually my story really starts a little bit before that because there was some image issues and things I found that were going on. But that's a whole nother story and another a piece of it. I don't want to confuse things. My mom, when she passed, 2021 kicked in. 2021, I found myself on October 17th in a hotel room during a business function. Got up really early in the morning. Just felt like I was drawn to get up because I just, that whole weekend, I just didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was really putting on, how like you kind of like put on a show. You want people to be okay, and you want to be okay. So you're like, hey, I feel great, And even though deep inside, there's some things that are breaking you. There's some things that are not right with you. And that's what happened with me. I looked in the mirror and I said, wow, I honestly did not recognize myself because I really started taking a real good look at myself. I didn't recognize my body. I realized that, okay, there were some things I really kind of like needed to work on. I'd had that experience before, but this time it was very, very different. In the morning, I just looked tired. I didn't see that spark that I was used to looking at. And looking, when I saw it in the mirror, there was always like a spark to me. And I just did not see that. And I was like, holy cow, what is this? What's going on? And it wasn't too long. I said, okay, well, you know what? Whatever's going on, you're going to do something about it today. What you're going to do early this morning is you're going to start doing some push-ups. You're going to start doing some sit-ups. And it's going to start there. You have a whole weekend to get through this conference, get through your conference. So I got through the conference. I didn't have a plan, came back to New York. And when I came back to New York, I still kind of continued with the process of things. That's when I would join another program, and that would be with Darren, that he offered me an opportunity to jump on board. And that program changed my life and my perspective.
Look at God. Put your the alignment was right there.
Yeah, if I don't discover that program, if that program does not discover me, if Darren does not ask me to join, and I, consequently, I jumped at the chance to do that. I didn't jump at the chance the second time. Darren offered his second, the second portion of that program. But if theoretically, if I don't do that if I don't do that first portion of the program, then we're not sitting here having this conversation at all about self-image.
Yes.
If any of that makes any sense. So the journey in self-image is kind of like, thank you. The journey for me comes when I started recognizing in my purpose, and a little bit before then, that, hey, dressing is important. Looking great is important. Feeling confident is important. And I felt good about my dress. I always have for years. But purpose allowed me to put a different face and perspective on that. That is to look on the inside more.
So work on the inside, that started your self-image podcast, your self-image work. And that's where it went to
the work was more than just, kind of like this, the outside. Did I feel that I had something going on the inside that was special? Yes. But once I started learning my purpose and figuring out that self-image was really an inside job. There are people who are self-image consultants or image consultants, and they deal with the outside, fixing the outside. I wanted to come from a more, I guess, a holistic approach, inside and out, dealing with your spirit, dealing with the things that you say to yourself, dealing with how you feel, dealing with your concept, because there's self-image, there's self-concept, and there's your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself.
I definitely understand that, because when I'm with my business, I also wrote inside out as far as putting food, good nutrition. It feels good, is doing the things it needs to do. And then once you feel good on the inside, it's going to show on the outside. You're going to feel good, smile, happy, jump, scared, pop, all that. So I definitely agree. Understand it starts on the inside and it's going to reflect and show on the outside. You have the energy to do the things you need to do. And, people say, wow, she's jumping, hopping, skipping. What is she doing? Because you feel good on the inside. Body's going to work good, feel good. So I definitely understand the mental work on the inside. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
One is, ready? If you were to go back in time to your young self and you were equipped with the self-image knowledge that you now possess, what would you believe would be different in retrospect in your life? What would be different if you knew what you knew now? Then
I would have, if I known what I know now, I would have believed in myself a lot sooner. I would not have been so hard on myself. I would have set boundaries because I didn't learn how to do that so well as my younger self. And I had to learn how to do that as I seasoned, and I'm still learning how to do that because the lessons that you don't learn when you're younger, when you have the opportunity, often become the hardest lessons that you learn later in life. And I'm realizing that. I also would have trusted myself in the knowledge that I was more than enough. Because I think that then, even though, yeah, I definitely did believe in myself. But whether or not I understood that to be that I'm actually more than enough, so much more than, and so much more than that, that I don't have to compare myself to people. Because when you're
Don't talk about
younger,
that.
this is different. Because then you feel like, okay, you're the hot shot, and you really need to win against them. Okay, that you need to show them something. When you become seasoned more, you then begin to understand that you're more than enough with who you are. It's not about who you date. It's not about who dates you or loves you, and whether or not how you love them in terms of like you know what I'm saying, right? What happens is in relationships sometimes we tend to want to believe that we are not more than enough. We're not confident in who we are. We're not confident in our relationships. Once you get to a certain point in your confidence and you start to believe that you are more than enough, then the whole thing changes. Your perspective on who you are is not based on the value that who you love assigns you, who you work for assigns you, how they feel at any given moment, what they say about you on social media. And back in the day, social media was really what people said. So, and what you read about yourself in a magazine or a newspaper, or you heard on the phone.
I understand.
Different.
And as you get older, you're not worried about what people say. You are who you are. You're confident in you are, and you're proud of who you are, and that's it. And if don't like it, kick rocks. Pretty much. But yeah, that's what happened. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying exactly. So that's kind of like what, if I could go back in time, I definitely would have believed myself a lot sooner, would have been not so hard on myself, definitely would have set boundaries a lot better and cleaner, and I would have trusted in my knowledge that I was more than enough.
That's big. Being more than enough. I can understand. I compared myself to my mom and my brother. That was a lot of my issues. I never really thought about it because they were thin, tall and thin, and I was thick. I was thick girl, and I always was trying to be like them, And if I would have knew now that I couldn't be like them because there were different body types, I didn't know that there were 3 body types. So I was I'm an endomorph. We're curvy girls. We're curvy girls. That's how we are, and they are endomorphs. They are tall, thin, like runners. So a curvy girl cannot be fat. I'm fat, but I am what I'm supposed to be. Curvy girls got the small waist, and we got the we got the hips and the thighs. That's what we are. We're voluptuous. That's nothing wrong with that. But at the time, I felt fat because I compare myself to somebody that I shouldn't have. And if I would have known that, I would have saved a lot of stress because my daughter she became a model, and I was living through her. I make sure her when she modeled, did she had the tight outfit, the shoes, she gonna get that job because I was living through my daughter. She's tall and thin, and I was like, and if I would have known that there were different body types, I would have worked on myself. I would have made one a little thinner, but I would have known that I could not be that. I could be the best version of myself. And if I known that, I would have been so much better in the mental case because, I was worried about something that I really shouldn't have been. Just be my best self, not compare myself to anybody else, especially a whole different type of body type. And I didn't know. So I understand comparing, knowing better, but I'm so happy I know now. So I definitely can relate to that question. Now, our question number 2. Ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Discussion.
Do you feel that an overweight person or people would have more of a self-esteem issue compared to those who are not?
I would say the answer to that is yes. And the reason why I would say that very confidently is because I looked at myself and saw an overweight person. And
Mm-hmm.
people would look at me and go, "You got to be kidding me." I'm like, "No." And I knew that that was real.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there's, because there's self-image, what you see,
Mm.
okay? And how others see you is different. There's self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. And then there's
Okay.
self-concept, how you perceive yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
as far as I could see, I was dealing with reality. Okay. And reality for me was that I could look at myself physically and know the
Mm-hmm.
differences in my body and feel the differences in my body. So I
Mm-hmm.
looked at myself and saw, yeah, I saw that I was heavy set, and I really was. At one point in my time, people would not really believe this, but I was 180 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't at first. I did not see myself as a big person, or what some might say as a fat person is. Um, but I looked at that, and when I saw the picture later, and I was wearing this navy blue striped suit, and I had this gold tie on. I was at a business function, right? I felt like I look like a fat gangster. To be honest with you, Don, I kid you not. I was like, whoa, dude, what are you doing, man? Put down the Twinkie box, okay? Because you're looking ridiculous now. Put down the Twinkie. So stay away from those boxes that you're going out to, because you know you're eating those things. And I knew it too, and I was like, wow. So to me, that was a big reality check. So I can look at that and go, yeah, and I could see where, but the esteem, the loss of self-esteem does not necessarily mean it's going to happen at that very moment. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
when it happens a little later, you start feeling really kind of like crappy about yourself. And it just doesn't happen in the moment because you don't really see in that moment. And believe it or not, in that very, very moment, I wasn't paying
Mm-hmm.
attention. And I think that that's what happens. I think that when we are not paying attention, it makes it difficult for us to be able to receive the information that we need to receive about ourselves. So, yeah, of course, yeah, I do. So I do believe that um, there are self-esteem issues that can be associated with a person who is heavier, provided that that's what they see and understand themselves to be, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
because yeah, it does. Because I mean, as far as when I was overweight, I knew that I was heavy, right? I knew I
Mhm.
was sluggish. I felt slow. But what I would do when it's time for pictures, I'll be sure I get behind somebody. I said to hide. Like my sister, she with me. I put her on the front. I'll be in the back, right? I'll be sure I'm hiding high. You see my head, face up, and I'm trying to hide my body because I know I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the
Ah,
way I looked. I didn't. So that's concept, right? I didn't like the way I looked. I look around. I look like a little pudgy. But then they looked at pictures and like, oh my god, dang! I look a pudgy. I was like, whoa. So you look at pictures
wow.
now. I look at them. Whoa, whoa. You don't think you're as big as. I knew I was heavy, right? But
Uh-huh.
I don't. I mean, I dress nice, so I didn't. I didn't see myself as heavy, really heavy, because I'm trying to like hide. I guess my brain, I'm hiding myself. I'm hiding behind pictures. I knew I was. I felt sluggish, but now that I'm smaller, I look at him like, say, darn, woo, you was a piggy. I'm like, whoa, whoa. I look at him like I cry. I get it, but you mentally say, nah, I'm not. I know I'm fat, but I ain't that bad. I ain't that bad. But I'm just thank goodness, that what happened with me was, God told me to get on the scale, And I never do that. I mean, so I was like, I was beating. I got on the scale and it weighed 203 pounds. I'm like, whoa. And I said to myself, I would never, ever, 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 ever weigh 200 pounds. I realized and have learned, don't never happen. Sometimes it happens. I don't know why it happens. So then I said, what am I supposed to do? How did I get here? I remember the doctor saying that you gain 1 to 2 pounds every year. So I did the math, like, yeah. So then I was driven to go to my computer, and then I saw a class. I went to the class, I lost the weight, and here I am. But, sometimes you know you're heavy or whatever with me, but I kind of disguised my eye. I knew I was, but I didn't really see exactly. I knew I was, but I had blinders on kind of. But when I lost the weight, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, so it's that self-image and concept and esteem is no joke. It's no joke. It's not playing. I felt all kind of things. Oh, I felt like I compare myself to my brother. Woo. No joke.
No, that's why it's very important.
Oh, so go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's why I'm listening to you, because that's why it is so important to kind of understand, I think, self-image, self-concept, self-esteem. And then there's ideal self, which is what you'd like to be. All of those things form self-concept. And then there's self-awareness to be able to pay attention to all of those things. Because let's face it, there's some people who are heavy set and they really feel good about themselves. They really feel good about themselves. And then there's other people, somebody will see them and they'll go, wow, look at that person. That person is just so fat. Without really knowing the person. But meanwhile, that person is working on themselves. That person has good things to say to themselves. That person is happy. They may have other things that are going on in their life that help them to compose and create a better self-esteem, to feel better about who they are. Because you have people, I guarantee you, who are also really good looking, really thin and skinny, and they have a different concept. They may have a very, very different concept of who they are, particularly if they're unhappy as people to begin with. So they're not going to have
so you're
that.
Saying,
yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying that some people, it's about their mental. If they feel good about themselves being overweight or thin, it's up to them. If they're happy with their body, happy with the mind, that's fine. So not everybody's the same, but most people, I think, have some type of concept issue. That overweight, feel a certain, feel a little bit energy and dragging and not. But now some people say it, but some people get heavy and still feel good because that's where the body's made. Because you have some people, they're naturally large bone people, and that's natural. It runs in their family. That's normal. That's normal. I'm talking about people whose family like mine are thin, and I was not that person. So different if your body structure, your body type, that's how your family is made. That's genetics compared to people's family who 30, 40, 50 pounds plus. That's different,
Right. Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. That's why kind of like looking at this and talking about awareness of who you are and what you need, particularly if you have a particular weight issue, it's important for you to know you. And it's important for you to understand that it may be that when people look at you, and they'll come to you and they may say, look, I think it's a good idea. Have you ever thought about losing weight? I sort of like when that statement, when you make that statement to someone, they might be ready, depending upon who they are and where they are in their life, to say, yeah, I think that I could. Because it triggers, you're looking to maybe trigger response from them that sort of like says, that gives them a chance to think about, wow, what would this do for me? I have been unhappy lately, and I do believe it's because I could stand to lose a few pounds. I could tend to gain a little bit of muscle. Um,
Mm.
I could tend to maybe I just need to throw on a new suit or something like that, or maybe I just need to look inside myself and see why do I feel so unconfident.
Yeah. Or maybe your clothes are getting too tight and you don't start buying no new ones.
Right. Yeah, and maybe that is
Yeah.
too. I mean, there's a reality to many of these things. But I do think that yes, your self concept, your self image, your self esteem, your confidence, your value. I believe that all of those things, whether you're heavy set or whether you're too thin or skinny. Look,
Mhm.
when I was growing up, I was a skinny kid. It took me to become athletic and grow out of that to begin to really appreciate what my body could do and what kind of changes. I was a skinny gymnast as well,
Mm.
you know, and I was a runner.
Hold on. Hold up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt. I want to hear about the gymnastic part. I'm sorry. I want to hear a little bit of that. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but tell me about the
Not so much.
gymnastic story. I'm gonna hear this. Please.
No, I think I listened. No, I was no, I wouldn't call myself really a gymnast. I would say that I was more I would just say I was involved with gymnastics, and I had a big interest in that when I was in junior high school and in high school. But by the time high school came around, I actually went from gymnastics and I wanted to go into running.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
do distance or the sprints? What did you do?
Well, the coaches wanted me to be a sprinter, and
Mm-hmm.
only reason why I didn't go further into that was because I was kind of like, also growing. I was growing differently as a kid. We had some things at home and issues that we had to deal with. My mom was the breadwinner, and I felt like, wow, I think that my mom really needs my help, and she doesn't really need me to be asking her for money. What I need to do is I need to be finding ways to make my own bread, so to speak. And so as my
Mm-hmm.
mom actually, through one of her people that she knew, got me a job down at the stock exchange in a little candy shop.
Oh,
I was earning like
okay.
I was earning like what, $3.10 an hour or something like that. Really crazy, right? But of course, if
Yeah.
you're, you're a kid, it don't really matter. And at that time, there was money. And
Oh,
so I started earning that, and so there was a coach there, and he's like, Mitchell, I've seen you run. I see you running around this thing, man. He goes, would you please join the track team? And I told him, no, coach, I'm earning like $3.10 an hour, and this is what I
big
got to
money,
do.
big money.
I got to help my mom. I got to help myself. I got things I got to do, and so I turned that down, which sort of like it makes you think of where would you be, because I knew I was very fast,
Yeah,
and like yeah, I absolutely was. Didn't
that's
damage my self concept of
so.
myself, my identity about who I was.
So on the gymnastics, were you a floor person, a horse person, a parallels? What would you do? Parallel bars? What would you do?
I love the horse and I love the parallel bars, and I did
Oh, cool.
I used to be able to hold handstands for a very long time. I could do forward flips, but I
Mm,
was afraid to do back flips. I was kind of chicken about that.
okay.
I didn't like the whole
Yeah, I
concept
did
of
a little
that.
gymnastics. I did the floor. I was a floor person. Okay, so we're about to bring this thing to an end. I really gonna miss you. Thank you for coming out and joining me tonight. I want to find out what's going on in your future. What do you got going on? Anything going on special? And where can we find you?
Okay, you can find me on IG as I am Mitch Race. It's right there in the purple over there. Um, you can also find me on Facebook. You can also find me on YouTube and at Mitch Race Podcast. And what I've got special going on, I've got a master class that is coming up. It's coming up. It's 4 steps to reframe negative thinking to a 6-figure self-image. It's going to be Sunday, March 16th, 4
March
p.m.
16th.
Okay, if you DM me for the link, there will be one soon.
March
If any,
14th.
Yep, March. I believe that's Sunday. March. That should be March 16th. Is it not?
Or 16th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
4 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
Okay. Yep. I'll make sure everybody get that. Can't wait. I'm gonna see. Definitely gonna be there for that. So you have a podcast, and that's gonna be your masterclass. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Race, for joining me. It was a pleasure. So what I got going on, I'm gonna have a walk for health.
Awesome.
And I'm changing the date. Mine's gonna be March 24th. And it's going to be to be walking and moving. Wearing them shorts and going to the beach and going to have some summer fun with them to be healthy looking and healthy body, feeling good and all of that. So nice if you could join us. Join me, Mr. Race, on that challenge.
That's a possibility.
You did the last one. What? You did the last one. You did the water challenge. This is fine.
I did. And I got a nice water bottle from you too as a result.
Very good. I'm so happy you're drinking your water. Good job.
It's an inspiration.
Well, all right, Miss. Inspiration. They're so happy. So, that's what I have tonight, I believe. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on episode 94. I am so happy you came to join us this evening with our special guest this evening. And my name is Coach Dawn Allen. And I'm here every Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. And my masterclass is coming up as well. Mine's going to be in April. So I'm having the event first. March. Walk. If you're interested, walk this, and we will go from there. So all I have for now. So goodbye for now, and I will see you next week. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Dawn,
bye
thank
for
you
now.
Very much. Thank you.
You're so welcome.